Kattimani, who joins us from Bangalore today. Professor Kattimani is an educationist, a creative writer, translator, and a thinker. As an educationist, he has focused on tribal India and education for the tribal and deprived youth. As a translator, Professor Kattimani has worked with languages like Kannada, Hindi, Gujarati, and English, and has studied the composite culture of India and their pan-Indianness represented through different Indian languages. Professor Kattimani currently serves as the first Vice-Chancellor of the Central Tribal University of Andhra Pradesh. He was formerly the Vice-Chancellor of Indira Gandhi National Tribal University, MP. He is also serving as the member of the National Steering Committee for the New Education Policy of India. Thank you so much, Professor Kattimani, for joining us, for taking time from your travels. Professor Kattimani will tell us today about the tribal identity as depicted in the oral literature which is transmitted over centuries and sometimes millenniums of the tribals. Over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Manasha. Thank you very much. Good evening to everybody. Thanks for inviting me to talk on most important topic, which is nearer to my heart. You know, around 30 years, I'm working on the issues related to tribals, tribal culture, tribal music, tribal art, tribal food system, tribal culture, tribal ethos, tribal myths. In the whole country, the population of tribes is more than 10 crores. They spread from Kanyakumari to Kashmir, northeastern states, 7 states, all are dominated by tribes. They are in Sundarban, they are in Ran Kutch of Gujarat, central India, they have a strong hold of culture, music, art, and land holdings and forest holdings also. The government record, central government record says that 705 ethnic groups are there in tribal communities in the whole country. These 700 odd communities, tribes, are separate from other. In Manipur, if you visit a village, there may be 4 tribes. Their 4 cultures are separate. 4 languages, they are separate. Food habits are separate. They will, if they want to talk in Panchayat, they have a common language to talk. We believe, scholars, according to us, we believe that tribes are the aborigines of our land. They are the first habitats of our land. Once upon a time, the whole land holding, the forest, the rivers, and other water bodies were under the supervision of tribes. I'm not telling they were the owners, they were under the supervision of tribes. They never claimed that they are owners. They believed, they used to say, we are part of forest, we are part of river, we are part of sea, we are part of lake. Like that, they never claimed ownership. They used to believe that we are supervisors. The coexistence of the mainstream society has to learn from tribes of any part of India. Before colonial invasion, tribes were the actual custodians of forest. Again, I used another one word, custodians. First, they were supervisors or they thought themselves, they believe themselves that we are custodians of forest, minerals, not only forest, it's minerals, and domestic and non-domestic animals. You know, cow as well as tiger, according to them, they are just part of their life. How cow is part of their family, tiger is also part of their, elephant is also. Long practice. Here, please remember the word. The Cosmo is a long practice of tribes. It is full of knowledge. The knowledge is proved by their practice, because tribes' knowledge system never, it is part of written, never became the part of books, never became the part of even teaching. It is belief and practice in society. It is just belief that tribes are good, because they used to practice the good thing only, and the other than tribes used to believe that tribes are very good. Their cosmos, they are full of knowledge, they are full of goodwill, goodness, and they never go beyond the forest limits and lines. For example, the rain and its quantity. This year, how much rain will come? What will be the quantity of the rain was believed and defined by the tribes of Western Ghat. Western Ghat is between Goa and Kerala. Western Ghat, it is full of greenery even today. A great biodiversity even today. The rain, its quantity, was believed and defined by the Western Ghat tribes like the two important tribes, that is Hasalaru and another one, Kudia. Kudia is the most minority tribal group. A particular, how they believe, how they tell that this year they will get good rain, this year they won't get good rain. It is a smell of a particular tree. In summer, if it is particular smell will be very thick, very wild, they believe that this year rain will come. If the smell will be very thin and very less, they believe that rain this year will will not so very heavy. So, wall paintings, rock paintings, and ghotul paintings, three items, these things, my two lectures are connected each other. Wall paintings, rock paintings, and ghotul paintings are the creative expressions of tribes. Who are the tribes like Worli? You all know Worli painting, Maharashtra is famous for that. And Pithora paintings, Gujarat and Madhya Pradesh border. It is in Gujarat also, it is in Madhya Pradesh also, Jhabua and other areas. And Gond painting, when I was there in Madhya Pradesh, I extensively worked on Gond paintings. I supported around 100 painters to work on Gond painting. University walls were painted with Gond painting, and in the whole, many universities, I request you call Gond paintings, they will make best paintings like that. And Savara painting of Odisha and Andhra Pradesh, where I am working now. Savara tribes, they are divided in two states. One is Odisha and another is Andhra Pradesh. Their paintings also very famous. These paintings are covered. See, these paintings, maybe Worli painting, maybe Gond painting, maybe Pithora painting, and maybe Savara painting. There are three worlds in their painting. Three loka, trilok. three worlds. What is that three worlds? One world of water. The world of water, the first word. The world on land, the world on land, the world on sky. You know, the land, the water, the land, and the sky. You know, these are the most important factors. For you, these are most important factors. For me, these are most important factors. The people who live in Delhi, they need water, they need land, they need sky. We need good water, we need good food, and we need good air. The paintings of these people, maybe Worli, maybe Pithora, maybe Gond, maybe Savara, these three worlds will be always there. In a small single painting, maybe 6 to 6 inch by 6 inch, definitely they will put these three worlds. There will be a sun, there will be some birds, there will be some trees or creepers and some water body, there will be some fish, there will be some deer. Three worlds are most important for tribes. The cosmos of tribes on rain and stars much before any written form of science. Please, time is a limit here, but these are the signals where you young scholars can work. Before the established science, 1,000 years, 2,000 years before, tribes explain the movement of stars, the movement of air, the movement of sun, the movement of how sun is connected to stars, how moon is connected to sun, how moon will move, how sun will go down, how moon will come up. These things are explained in poetry, in epics of tribes, or in their small stories, in their small paintings. We can see how this tradition of tribes continued till today. In the first phase of my lecture, I said, I believe we are the tribes, are the aborigines of our land. So 4,000 years, since 4,000 years, who taught tribes? Who learned all these things? Because they don't know writing, they don't know reading, they never wrote, they never preserved, they never taught. How they preserved this oral literature, oral poetry, oral paintings, oral storytelling, oral riddles, how they preserved? It is teacher pupil, Guru Shishya Parampara. It is Guru Shishya Parampara to preserve the oral literature. How is that Guru Shishya Parampara? They are all poor people. They are all poor people, and they migrate from one place to another place. They never, live, centralize themselves in a single place. They move one from another place. There are many examples are available, especially in central India, or in Nilgiri Hills, Western Ghats, or in Odisha part of country, where this year, 3 years, 4 years, they will be in a special place. After June cultivation, they will leave the cultivated place to grow forest. Again, they will go somewhere where a water body is available, water source are available, and they will go there. Their tradition of orality, how it will move. By moving, the teacher and student both are never studied. See, they never studied both. the teacher as well as student, they in the modern era, in a modern perspective, we can say they are illiterate. You know, NEP 2020 says literate, a person who is literate is the meaning of definition of literacy is redefined now, because literary person or literacy rate, we can imagine scientist, trained scientist, naturally trained scientist. Tribes are naturally trained scientists. They are naturally trained poets. They have been inspired by birds. They have been inspired by animals. They have been inspired by, a roaring tiger. They have been inspired by a river. They have been inspired by, because they follow nature. They follow the music of nature. So the guru has learned the poetry, the story, the art of storytelling, the art of dance, the art of music, the art of musical instruments. See, they are not only storytellers, they are dancers also. They are musicians also. They are singers also. They are drum beaters also. They are drum beaters also. They are means women and men both are. Women, they know dance, they know how to play the musical instruments, including flute, including drum, and dance also. I would like to give one example. How is this Guru Shishya Parampara continues? In Western Ghat, there is one tradition of Malay Mahadeshwara, a tribal god, a tribal saint was there. It is historical part of poetry. The poetry and the music is called as Kansale song, Kansale, Kansale song. Their poetry and the drum beating as well as dance is called as Kansale Sri. A poetry consists of this orality consists of poetry, consists of singing, song, and musical instrument, supported by musical instrument and song, and a strong poetical base. The Bilama Baiga community, a Baiga tribe of Western Ghat, they have their own, orality system called Bilama, B-I-L-A-M-A. In central India, there is one tradition called as Pandavani, P-A-N-D-A-V-A-N-I. It is popular on TVs also. Pandavani, it is in Chhattisgarh as well as in Madhya Pradesh. Now it is popular in border of Gujarat also. Pandavani is famous Pandavani song. Pandavani Geet, it is called as Pandavani Geet. How the education will be given to a shishya, to a student, that the student from childhood will sit with the teacher, live with the teacher, serve the teacher, go with the teacher to forest, go with the teacher to land, go with the teacher with his cattle, with his buffaloes, with his cows, with his goats, with his sheep. It is like Shishta Parampara, where Guru and Shishya, they are, undivided. Here also the same thing. Guru is a poor man, Shishya is the student is the poorer, but a bondage of culture, bondage of poetry, bondage of song, bondage of drum beating, bondage of music, bondage of learning, bondage of a tradition goes on. The teaching is like a continuous flow of river Narmada. It is a continuous flow. There will be no stop while sleeping, while eating, while drinking, while sitting. Guru teaches the Shishya how to move, how to learn, how to sing, how to beat the drum, how the poetry is. The oral tradition has been imparted to a student again to keep up the flow of the music, keep up the flow of the tradition, because this poetry is his existence. The poetry, for example, we have collected 2 epics from Gujarati tribes. Tribal Mahabharata, tribal Ramayana. They have been translated into English and Hindi. Sahitya Academy has given me a job to translate it into my mother tongue Kannada. So how rich it is. These the Ramayana of tribes, the Mahabharata of tribes are different from Vyasa Mahabharata and Valmiki Ramayana. Here, the ethos of Sita, the ethos of Ramana, ethos of Sri Ramachandra, ethos of Hanumanji, ethos of Lakshmana are different. Why they are different? Here tribes can see their own culture, their own nature, their own rivers, their own again forest and like that. The heroism, the elements of heroism, valor, a generous king, and the anti-heroes likewise. In our standard Ramayana and Mahabharata, we can see there will be a hero, there will be a anti-hero, there will be a heroine, a supportive, heroes also, like Lakshmana, like Bharata, like that. But in Western critics, we can see they recognize very long back, acknowledged the oral and tribal narratives dating back to Kaleval, Gilgamesh, Beowulf, like that. A literary critic, C.M. Baura, points out 2 types of narrative epics traditions, one being oral, constituting a lucid, naturally inspired, and uncontaminated by civilization or its values. Tribal poetries are uncontaminated by civilizational values. Though various tribes have produced their own alternative, I already indicated, alternative Ramayanas and Mahabharats. They were not recognized. These alternative Ramayanas and Mahabharata were not recognized by traditionalists. They choose to subvert the structures by the great epics. Every region, I told Kashmir, Gujarat, Western Ghats, Kerala, Nilgiri Hills, Odisha, Savara tribe, and again Sundarban tribes. Every region has produced their own epics, stories of warriors, miracle men. See, stories of warriors, miracle men, saints, sagas, the habits, their lifestyles, inclusive of alcoholic drinks. Just imagine, alcoholic drinks is not permitted in Ramayana and Mahabharata original. Here it is a pleasure. Not only alcoholic drinks, sex, medicines, and various other practices integral to their living, mainly in the communities of matriarchal tribals. These very stories have a potential to create an alternative cultural history of India, a history not of reign of rulers, but those of the common people. The tribal history, which is depicted in oral tradition, is not of kings and queens, warriors. It is a history of common people. The perception of life through tribal narratives communicate their simplistic yet ingenious potentiality to form the history of their own regions. The cultural leaders of these communities are commemorated through legends created around these characters, their sagas, their troubled life, triumph over the enemies, all form the parts of the epics. These cultural leaders live life of simplicity, but yet have the grit and determination to protect and stand up to their people in the times of conflicts and crises. See, what are these conflicts and crises? There we can see their fight for their identity. What is that conflict and crisis? So simple. Their conflict is to save the forest. Their crisis is intervention of human being into wildlife, contamination of water bodies, contamination of water. It is their conflict. Try to understand the conflict of mine, conflict of yours, and conflict of tribes are totally, they are against each other because their life and their values are so simple. They are worried about water bodies. They are worried about rivers. They are worried about sky. They are worried about tiger. They are worried about cows. They are worried about their buffaloes, goats, and sheep. And at the same time, they are worried about the fish of their own lakes and rivers also. I would like to take one example. One Mante Swami of Soliga tribe, another one orphan saint, Junjappa of hilly Golla tribe of between Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh. There are epics of there. From evening to morning, people even today will sing, even today tell the whole story. It is music, it is a dance, it is a musical instruments, blend of all these things. And people like me, from evening to morning, we love to listen, we love to participate, and everything is oral. Nothing is written, nothing is documented. Nowadays, universities, we have started to preserve it. We have made it available to the world. In the, you all know about Hampi, Vijayanagara Hampi. Vijayanagara Hampi, before invasion of Mughal kings in India, was established by Anegundi Maharaja. Anegundi Maharaja was a tribe. Their third, king was Kumara Rama. The story of Kumara Rama is well preserved in many form of poetry, many form of folklore, many form of stories, many meanings. He was a great lover of freedom. He fought to preserve temples. He fought to preserve his own religion. He fought to protect the women. And even today, there are many temples in Andhra Pradesh and Karnataka, Kumara Rama temple. We worship melas, jatras, melas are being regularly, yearly conducted. Pujas are conducted, and Kumara Rama Sangatya Mahakavya is being, people will this thing. In Andhra Pradesh, Bobbili Nagi Reddy, another one original poetry is available. Now it has been collected and published by Telugu University of Andhra Pradesh. Kinnara Jogi, nomadic tribe. Kinnara Jogi, they have their own Mahabharata. In that Mahabharata, the hero and heroine continuously travel. They never stay in a single place, in a place a day. After one day, second day, they will move. Why it is? I tried to analyze here the hero and heroine and their allies, why they are continuously traveling? Because this Mahabharata is the belief of a nomadic tribe called Kinnara Jogi. Their profession is to move from one village to another village. So the hero and heroine of Mahabharata, they continues. The identity of their Kinnara Jogi, has mixed with the Mahabharata, and they believe that their sorrow, their music, their drinking, their eating of flesh, mutton, and dance is part of epic. See, unlike the canonical epics, tribal epics and narratives do not indulge in ornamentation, but depict the world as it is. As it is. Those are not of the kinds of Bana Kadambari, all Bana Kadambari, how it is ornamental like that. These are the accounts of their essential life events, activities, simple, such as hunting. Hunting is part of, essential part of tribes. Food gathering, animal rearing, a world of rich biodiversity constituting of tigers, cheetah, snakes, diverse wildlife. In this context, it is important to bring to the attention of the readers, you all, that Ramayana and Mahabharata have dealt mainly with empires. Just imagine, original Ramayana and Mahabharata, they are about Pandava and Kaurava. They are about Rama and Ravana. And expansion of kingdom. They deal with extension of kingdoms. They are ambitious invasions of rulers and destruction of their empires also. But the oral narratives, tribal oral narratives, on the other hand, are the works of nomadic tribes. Tribes, they were never settled. I can use this word, nomadic tribes. The pre-tribal history is nomadic tribes who are yet to strike the chords of civilization and settlement. They were in search of settlements. They feature deities like Madeshwara, Manteswami, Junjappa, Mailaralinga, Kumararama, who desired to settle in a pastoral land and had to face conflicts and tensions in the process of the same. While the written epics focus primarily on the poetic truths, the tribal epics delineate the strive to establish the truths of life. It is interesting to note the transition that the canonical epics underwent as they passed from the blessed communities to the outcast, downtrodden communities. So one can see here a cultural difference between the epics. Most of the tribal narratives begin their epics with the stories of, again I will come down, creation of animals, nature and man. They also narrate stories about the birth and growth of their cultural leader. Their epics denote their unique worldview, and the bard narrates the saga of the tribes, their inception, and the heroism of cultural icons. They have their own hero, but they are not kings. Their heroes never kill another person. Their heroes are cultural icons. See, there is a difference between the power icon and the cultural icon. Through the periods of conflicts and tensions, it is firstly a true history, interspread with imaginative elements and painted with historicity. Tribal poetry takes its shape from the community of a particular region and its culture. The prevalent social and political conditions may inspire the creation of these epics. The societies which have the least knowledge of written scripts take the course of tribal oral narratives. As it incorporates the regional events, local values, it immediately becomes a voice of the community. Later, it emerges as the oral tradition of the poet, and thus a tribal epic takes its shape. Tribal narratives are dream worlds of the tribes. They portray, see, they are poor, but they never believe that they are poor. They are hungry. They're hungry, their poverty, their trouble never appears in their poetry, their narratives. They portray the imaginative world of the tribes. Their aspirations, ambitions, sufferings, and wishes are all depicted through these stories. They are emblematic of the socio-political and cultural life of those tribes. They are the tools of voicing their concerns to the external world through the process. A sense of self-confidence and self-esteem is instilled among the people. This is existence. They have their own followers in their own community, in their people. You know, they want to create a sense of self-confidence and self-esteem. They focus on the harmonious relationship between nature and man. Nature and man, the bounty of nature and man's role in the same in coexistence with the animals. Another objective of the tribal epics narratives is the destruction of human ego and pride. So it is construction of pride and ego. No, it is destruction of human ego and pride in front of nature, Mother Nature, in front of river, in front of Himalaya, in front of hill, re-establishment of humanism, respect towards nature, the equality of humans and equality of humans and animals, the perspective of looking various biological organisms on the same plane, the glorification of a cultural leader or deity of the tribe serves to expand the tribe. It is a deliberate construction to assimilate several other devotees and thereby expand the tribe. These singers, bards, use various ragas. See, they don't know writing, they don't know reading, but they have ragas, the knowledge of ragas. And numerous musical instruments are supplemented to add a musical quality to the narration and accompanied with dance. See, they have their own story, they have their own music and dance to engage the audience to the stage for long duration, long hours. Every narrative or independent segment of the epic is emblematic of a ritualistic tradition, deification, and cultural heritage of the community, which tries to recuperate many devotees to the sect. The idea is to implement the values in the minds of the audience and thereby rejuvenating their culture is integral to every tribal narrative. In the background of this, we can see many epics. In the next lecture, in this background, in these fundamental narratives, I will take up in other lecture some epics, some narratives on as a ground that how their knowledge system, even in their own life, how they have been depicted. These things we may call it an ethnic genre. Many scholars in the whole world, especially in India, have conducted extensive studies of folk epics. Their features and forms are broadly described here on the basis of the findings of these scholars. I may take another 5 minutes. Is it okay? See, the characteristics of these things, it is performed by folk singers. It is the longest available narrative poem of that particular region. The heroes of this epic are worshipped in local temples like Kumar Rama. It has links with the classical and more sophisticated epics of the region. Likewise, we can take it that these things, narratives, narrators and singers are even the holders of that narratives also. Here, narrative is not written by somebody, sung by somebody, musical instruments are, played by somebody. No, these things, three people, the narrative, the narrator, the singer, the musician, the dancer, and the player are single one person. The one person, his creator, his dancer, his performer, his singer, his even painter also. We can understand the artistic personality of a tribe, of a tribal man who never seen the face of a school, who never seen the face of a gurukul, who never met a teacher who knows to read and write, but they have been trained by a teacher who knows the morals, ethos of tribes, lived in the forest, knows the relation between the animal and the man, the fish and the man, the monkey and the man, the women and the fish, how they are correlated and how they believe mother is whole and soul in tribal narratives. Mother is whole and soul. The freedom has been given to their children, given to their young sisters to choose their partners, choose their life partners. That type of freedom has been given, has been made available in the narratives. So, in the concluding part, I can say how tribes, especially the tribes of, especially second part, I would like to tell all these things, but one character I would like to tell about one tribal lady, Sankamma. She's part of history and she's part of narrative. A smart and beautiful woman who belongs to Soliga community, and her sons Billaya and Kannaya are the respected cultural leaders of this cult. The episode narrates the marriage of Sankamma and Nilegowda, her husband. Again, he is also a same tribe person, Soliga. The dareness of Sankamma, Nilegowda's insistence on Sankamma's oath of chastity, purity, her refusal to do so, the husband, because of some pressures, request his wife to prove her purity. She refused. She refused. And Sankamma, she has blessings of the god Malemadeshwara. Again a tribe. Again a tribe. He's a poetic hero. The 9 ordeals of Sankamma to prove her virtue, all these incidents are narrated dramatically and in great detail. See, it is identity of a tribal lady. The episode records authentically the life of Soliga tribe and the kind of hunting they do. Though they are called hunters, they are gatherers of forest produces like fruits and roots, different kinds of honey and fresh water. As a tribe, they have retained till today their gathering habit. Quite a few of them are believed to be adept in different kinds of black magic also. There is a big story of black magic, the belief of black magic on how tribes they believe. As I remarked earlier, Sankamma becomes in this epic simultaneously a symbol of womanly pride and individuality, as well as helpless victim of male tyranny. She refuses, despite repeated physical torture inflicted by her husband Nilegowda, to give him an oath of chastity. Her argument is that such an oath is an insult to her womanhood. See, we are talking about womanhood, women freedom, women identity. Thousands years before, womanhood, women identity, women struggle has been depicted in oral literature of tribes. So, Mana, time is there or?
So it's almost 6, but you can take a few more minutes if you like.
So now I can conclude in the last minute, oral literature of tribes is part of their history also. I have a great dream since 10 years. I am trying to write the history of Indian tribes. We don't have records. We don't have documents. We don't have written and unwritten documents. With the help of folklore, with the help of orality, we are trying to build tribal history. We are trying to build tribal history, and it is most scientific and authentic. In this way, the orality, the folk songs, folk stories, and folk incidents are they are giving support for historians to build, to rebuild, to make a historical narratives of tribes. With these few words, I just conclude here, and house is open for discussion. Thank you very much.